Hey guys, it's Abhay here. Welcome to Coders Project. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about the C++ functions. What is a function? How do you create them, and so on. So what is a function? A function is a block of code which only runs when it is called. So literally, you can pass in the data into a function known as parameters, and then you can run it. Functions are used to perform certain actions, and they are important for what reusing the code, like in the sense you can define the code once and use it multiple times. So yeah, a function is a block of code which only runs when it is called. You can pass data known as parameters into a function. Functions are used to perform certain actions, and they are important for reusing code. Define the code once, use it many times. So I'm going to divide functions into three categories, which are further divided into subcategories, and then explain them accordingly. So the first category is C++ function, which has its subcategories, and then similarly for function parameters and function overloading. Let me get started. So I'll take up C++ functions first, and then a function parameters, and then function overloading, and then discuss about them. Yeah, let's get started. Yeah, so since a function is a block of code which only runs when it is called, let us create a function and then call it later. So to create a function, like C++ gives you some predefined functions like a main over here, which executes a set of code, whatever given in the body over here. So this is the function name and this is the integer. Yeah, I mean initializing the function. So yeah, let us create our own function now. Let me just add namespace over here using namespace std. Well, using namespace std, and let me create my own function over here. I'll be using void, and then what? Let me just name it my function for now. My function, and let me add few block of lines over here. I'll just print out hello, this function is executed. Yeah, and then over here in the initializing main, I'm just going to type in my function's name, which is my function, and then yeah, let me just call my function inside this, and then let me specify return 0. um Yeah, this is it. So we have created a function over here and we are calling the function over here. So now let me explain what is this. So this is the function name, and this void means that the function doesn't have to return any value until it is called. So I'll explain more about it in the upcoming videos. So for now, let's run it and check it out what it does. Well, as you can see, it says hello. This is a function. I mean, this function is executed. Yeah, now let's run it. So it turns out hello, this is a function and it is executed. So this is how we create a function and then call it over here. Now let me show you how do you call a functions multiple times. You just have to type in your function's name over here and then call it. So this is the second time, and now the third time. Now let me call the fourth and the last time for now. Okay, so we have called the function 4 times, so it just prints it 4 times. It's up to you. You can let me get to the next line. Yeah, we can't take it like this. We have to add the slash and over here. Now let's run it. Hello, this is a function and it is executed. It has been printed 4 times. So you can call a function multiple times as and when it is needed in your project or your program. Great. So you have learned how do you create a function, how do you call it, and how do you print statements using that. Now let me show you how do you insert parameters into the function. So under C++, function parameters, there are parameters and arguments. So information can be passed into functions as parameters. Parameters act as variables inside the function. So parameters are specified after this function name between these brackets over here. You can add as many as parameters as you want. Just separate them with a comma. Okay, so let me take an example. I'll be printing out names in this function. So string, and then what should I define it as? My name. Let me change the sentence. So I'm going to be printing out my name, and then yeah, and then a slash n over here. And we have to pass the argument over here when we are calling the function. So in the first argument, I'll be printing out my name. So when it runs, it's going to print my name, which is Abhay, in the first argument when it is called. Then let me take it as coders project. Here, my name. Uh, yep. Let us run this now. So as you can see, it prints out Abhay, Coders Project, and my name again 2 times. So this is how you insert the functions, parameters, and then the arguments over here. So that you can also set the default argument over here, like by adding a equals sign and then keeping it as Abhay. So when you don't specify anything over here and then just run it, it's going to print out my name. So if you want to like change the name while calling the function, you can just type. Okay, so as you can see, it prints out Abhay Coders Project and my name again and again. So if you don't specify anything inside, if you don't specify the argument over here, it's just going to take the default argument as Abhay, which I've specified over here. If you want to change it, you can just change it over here. Okay, now I'm going to be showing you how do you pass multiple parameters inside a function. So let me just add in few more details over here, like let me remove this default and I'll just add my age or something, integer age. So let me specify this as 16. Abhay and then 16. Abhay and 16. Okay, let us run this. So wait. Yeah, we didn't print out the age, right? Let me also print the age. Well, let me not put this here. Okay, so as you can see, it prints out Abhay and 16, coded project 16, so on. So as you can see, I have specified two parameters over here, which is my name and then the age. So while passing the argument, when we are calling the function, you have to make sure that you're passing in the same order, as well as you need to pass two arguments over here because we have specified two parameters. So let us check what happens when you only specify one parameter and you don't specify one. It's going to raise an error. So it says requires two arguments, but only one was provided. So don't make this error, guys. So just add two parameters. If you don't want to add two parameters and then two arguments, just change this to one parameter. It depends on your kind of project or your program. Now let us see how do you use the return values. So let me create a function which is going to contain few numbers. So let it be integer my function, and then let me specify integer x. And over here I'm going to be typing. Let me show you how to use the return. So return whatever value plus 10. While calling the function, like, yeah, so while calling the function you have to just insert one argument this time, which is going to be in integer format. So let me print my function, and then let me specify the integer x. Let me take it as 10. So the output is going to be 20. As you can see, it's showing you 20. So as you can see, you must have noticed how do you use return over here. So we use return when we want to print something out or when we want to get some output. So in the previous like while at the start of this video, I've showed you how do you create the void. That is used when you don't want to execute something over there. But you can specify return if you want to execute something, and whatever type you want, like initializing it, like integer x. So it returns with the value of x and adds 10 to it and then prints it out. So you can change the value of this to be anything. And then while calling the function, you have to you can specify your argument, the number x, what you want to take it as, and then you can run it, execute your program. So this is how you use the return keyword. Like the example returns the sum of function of two parameters also. If we take two parameters over here to be integer y, and let us take this as to be y plus x, and in this my function I'm going to specify two arguments. So let me take y to be 10 and x to be some random value. So you can also do this. It's up to you whether specifying one parameter and then over here specifying what to add to what. Well, you can also store the functions, I mean the sum of the function in a variable. So you can just create a variable like integer, let me take it as z equals my function, and then you can pass in the arguments or over here. So 10 and then some value, and over here you just have to print out z. You can also do this. So it's totally up to you, depending on your program or the project. You can choose what do you want to do and how do you want to do. So now Let me show you what is function overloading and how do you specify multiple functions that can have the same name, or how do you specify multiple functions with same name but different parameters. So let me remove this. Well, yeah. So we have created a function with integer x. Now let us create a function which is of the type float. Float my function to, or fu2, and then pass on the arguments like float and then x. And then double function 3, double, and then x. So this is basically an example of function overloading where we are specifying integers to be the same. I mean the variables to be the same. But over here, when we call the function, it's going to give us different values because under this function, it's specified variable x. Under this function, it's a different variable. Under this function, it's a different variable. So let me just show you. Return return function 2. I mean return x. Return x. Let us print it now. Cout and then my function. Cout and function 2. Cout and function 3. Let's print it now. So as you can see, it prints out yeah. So as you can see, it prints out different values each time because we have called in different function where, but still we have taken the same variable name. So this is called as function overloading. So you can create many functions with different names, but you can also create same variable name over here, like what I have showed you right now. So thank you guys for watching my video. Do subscribe my channel, like my videos. See you soon.